From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, Splatoon and Xenoblade have changed release dates, the Mario movie got delayed, and there's a game that we spoke into existence, and I have no tolerance for it.
Who gave Miyamoto the Twitter password?
I ate my sister's pudding.
Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 318. Your place to hear Nintendo fans talk about old Sega games that are getting mysteriously released on Nintendo Switch. We're your hosts. I'm Trey, Triple Credits Johnson.
I'm Jeremy, Mr. Dalmatians, Mikowski.
I'm John, Pudding Knitter.
Pudding. Let's start off the show as we normally do and talk about games we bought and games we've been playing for the week. So I jumped onto the old Japanese eShop again this week. I haven't been on there in a while, and there's a little game called Pocky and Rocky on there that got released in Japan and not in America. Apparently it's not coming out here until like June or July. So I was like, hey, what the fuck? I should buy a game off the Japanese eShop because I haven't bought one for a while.
So is this it's an independent release of just the game?
I think so.
That you like purchase piecemeal or whatever?
I think it's a new game. I don't think it's a remake or anything.
Oh,
That's
okay.
new, and I remember hearing about this a while ago.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the Pocky and Rocky games, but I do know that they're based heavily on Japanese mythology, which I could tell from the opening level of the game. It's super duper Japanese, which is great. I love that stuff. So it's very much like the old art style of ancient Japan and all that. And I guess like Pocky and Rocky, I think like the animal guy is an actual like god or Japanese.
He's a Tsunuki.
Yeah, mythological god minus the balls. Hopefully
Right.
you get that. Hopefully you get that ability later to change your balls into various
throws
things.
leaves like bullets, and they get bigger depending on your power-ups you pick up.
Yeah, because I was playing. I played through the first level, and I played as the female protagonist. And
Is it Becky?
No, Becky's. As far as I know, Becky's nowhere to be found.
Oh no!
But the great thing about Pocky and Rocky Reshrined and buying it on the Japanese eShop is that it is all in English. Even though when you download it, the title on the menu will be in Japanese. The whole game is in English. So, and I've said this before. If you're in the Japanese eShop, you can look and I think it's like the first thing in the details of the game will show you all the different languages that the game has. So if you have a Google Translate like I do, and you can just hold your phone up to the TV, it will show you which languages are in there. And the game is fully in English. Everything's been translated and all that. So I don't know why there's a delay between the two of them. But it looks really, really pretty. Like it's the 16-bit sprites are incredible, and it looks very bright and pretty and hand drawn and all that fun stuff. And all the characters look really good. It runs really smoothly. It kind of feels like a shoot 'em up, but you're like moving. Is kind of what I gathered from it.
That's like Akari Warriors or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, I guess. Yeah, you could compare it to that.
It's a top-down shooter.
It honestly kind of reminded me of the Mystical Ninja games, the old ones, the Super Nintendo ones, like where you walk through the town, not the like 2D levels. But it has like the same intense like level of of Japanese art and all that stuff. But yeah, it looks really good. It plays really well. There's really giant sprites in there for a lot of the cutscenes, so it's really cool. I recommend taking a look at it. I think it's only $30. Like when you translate, it's like 4,000 yen, which I think equals out to like $32. I had to buy an eShop card from PlayAsia. But I actually had to buy a couple because they have like different specific amounts that aren't the right amount. So, but I did get it, and I ended up with some extra money, so I downloaded Puzzles and Dragons for free because I had some extra gold points on there, and I know that last time I had gold points, I kind of just forgot about them and they went away because I guess if you don't use them long enough, they'll expire, and they expired on my Japanese eShop account. So I ended up buying it for like $3 or something like that, but it was free because it was extra money left over. I haven't played it yet, but it's on there.
You know that one's in English as well?
Yeah, that's in English also. Same thing. All you have to do is check the languages. Like I've done that a bunch of times. Like I remember looking at that for what was it? Not Harvest Moon. The other one that we talked about.
Rune Factory?
Rune Factory. Yeah, I was looking at that for Rune Factory 3 because the Japanese one came out way early, and all it showed was Japanese for the languages. So it wasn't worth getting. Plus, there's a bunch of other stuff on there, like that Train Mario Party game that I've been wanting to play. That's super popular. Doesn't have English on there, but this one does, and Puzzles and Dragons does too. I didn't play it, but I played it. I mean, I played the 3DS version. I remember getting that and having fun with it, and playing it on my phone a little bit too. So I was like, oh, what the fuck? I'll get it. It's for free. Well, for free from money that I put on there, I guess. I guess half of it was from gold points, but whatever. But yeah, take a look at Pocky and Rocky Reshrined if you're looking to buy some Japanese stuff on the eShop. And it's always nice to get something a few months ahead of time. And for people who reviewed it, it got really good reviews, so I was really interested in checking it out. But I only got to play it for a little bit, but I liked it.
I have a lot of nostalgia for these games because we had the first one on Super Nintendo. My brother and I played it all the time. And then we actually had the chance to buy Pocky and Rocky 2. We didn't. I wish we had. But it would probably be gone anyway. But yeah, that game's worth a lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was really fun too. Like, it had a lot more characters. It wasn't just Pocky and Rocky. Like, there is you could be like a scarecrow. That's what I remember. There was like multiple other characters you could be too, and you could like switch them on the fly. It was really cool.
It should be Pocky and Rocky with Becky and Joe and Mac.
Yes. Is it? No, they're Natsume, and Joe and Mac is what are they called? What are they? Data East.
I was gonna say Data East, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know you had so much experience with it. I mean, at least like watch some videos of it and see what you think.
It gets pretty hard. I think we finished I think we beat the first one, but we never did beat the second one, and that's just because we actually rented the second one multiple times. When the rental store went out of business, that's when we bought Earthbound, and we
and the rest is history.
Got rid of that. Yeah.
Who you got rid of? Earthbound?
Well, I think it was my brother's game, and I think he got rid of it.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember.
Ouch.
Yeah, there's Earthbound, and there was Pocky and Rocky 2. Those games I wish we had bought. We had the chance to buy both of them, and I think we just got Earthbound.
Well, it looks really cool. Like I said, watch some videos of it. You will appreciate the amazing sprite artwork in it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I had mentioned it before we were recording, but we've been having weird internet issues over here. Justin and I have. We ended up getting a new modem and got a new chair also. You can see it's over here. This one.
Oh yeah,
it's the same as the other one.
Black leather chair, right?
No, it's brown.
Okay,
but it's the same.
It's the same as the one you're sitting in now.
It's very similar to the other chair that I had before. That's over there. But the internet was being so bad that I wasn't able to really play anything online. Like, we actually played Jess's brother in golf, and we used my phone as a hotspot to play off of, and that actually worked, believe it or not. So that was kind of cool. But it sucks because, we haven't been able to connect or anything. We haven't been able to use like Chromecast or anything like that. So I was working. I actually worked on Friday, and I used we were like doing interviews at the production office. So I used the internet at my job to play Tetris 99, so I could get the Kirby theme. So
awesome.
So I had plenty of downtime. Like, we were waiting around a lot. So I was I just played Kirby until I got the Kirby theme. So I was like, hooray. So I made sure and did that, and I didn't miss out on that one. I would have been sad if I missed out on it. But I guess I could have used my phone hotspot if I need to.
How is it playing it portable? I've never really played it portable.
It's fine. I mean, well, what I do is I just I set the screen down and I play it with the 8-bit-o. I don't play it
I would do the same.
I don't play it handheld. So
yep.
Well, yeah, then that's great.
That's how I do it when I bring it there. And I used to use the stand.
I love this guy.
I used to use the stand that was built into my case, but now that I have the OLED, it has a much better stand, so I don't really need to use the case stand anymore. So I just I just set it up and it's good and solid now that it's got like the full flat thing instead of just like the tiny kickstand and all that. So yeah, I set it up and I play through my with my 8-bit-o controller like that. So it's not really that much different. I didn't get that high. I think I was in the teens. I think at the highest on that, but it's cool.
Well, yeah, Sean and I played as well. I guess I might as well talk about it. She got to 6th place and I got to 7th place. So I almost got to where she did, but she did better.
I got really close. I don't think it was during the Kirby one, but when I was playing another time, I got to like 5th and I was like, and I thought I actually had it, but
Sean and I have both gotten 2nd. That's the best we've done.
I think I did.
Didn't you get 2nd as well, John?
Yeah. I mean, I got 2nd at one point.
I think I might. I don't remember.
Long time ago. But no, it's kind of.
You got to remember these things; they're important.
It's kind of fun to play it at work because, I don't really pay that much attention to it because I don't have my headphones on. I'm just kind of playing it while I'm waiting for stuff to happen. So it's like not. It seems like it's a little bit easier to get higher because I'm not as like focused on it. I guess for me. So I thought I was doing okay for not really. Even though if like something happens, I have to just like automatically die because I can't pause it. Or just I
did notice like I placed highest to it when Sean and I were in the middle of having a conversation about something. I don't remember what it was, but I would just kind of like, having a conversation and only like halfway paying attention to Tetris. And yeah, that's when I did the best.
That's how we. I think that's how we got through the Super Monkey Ball stuff. Was from distracting each other enough to where you just kind of go through it. That's why I like doing the podcast game combo thing. I feel like I can pay attention to the podcast better and play the game better at the same time when I divide myself through those two things. I guess it's weird, but it feels cool. Like same with like editing. If I can play something while I'm editing, I'll do it faster than I will if I'm just focused on it. Then I get distracted too easily. But that's ADD Gaming 101 right there. But but anyway, yeah, Tetris 99 was fun to play. I'm glad that I had internet that I could use it with. Mario Golf 64, I've beat all of the levels. I got golds on all of the tournament courses, so I won all of the tournaments, and I got 2 additional credits. That's part of my 3 credits nickname there. And what's cool about Mario Golf, which I noticed, is so the first time I got credits is when I beat Bowser in the character select in the character matchup, and that was just the regular credits. And then I unlocked all of the courses, and I got another set of credits for that. And that set of credits, all of the characters are using their alternate skins. So, like, their different colors are in that credit. So, like, Bowser's blue and, like, Donkey Kong's green or whatever. It's, like, all the different colors that are in there that you can use for the different characters. And then I beat the Mario Star level, which is kind of the same. It's the same in the Mario Rush 1. It's the one where all the characters' faces are on the course as you play through. And I beat that, and I got another set of credits that had an additional like different skin color for all the characters. So I thought that was cool that there's actually like 3 different credits in that game. Like depending on how many times you beat it, you get a different little video. So it's just a nice little detail that they put in there that I didn't really know about.
That's pretty cool. Did you see speaking of Mario Golf, did you see there was a Game Explain article positing that we all heard the rumors about GBA possibly coming to Switch, right?
Yeah, we talked
so
about
they were saying that it's also a possibility that the connectivity between the N64 and Game Boy games could come back too. That would be pretty cool if they did that.
I mean, if they were bringing Game Boy Color or Game Boy, well, I guess not Game Boy Advance because that would be GameCube. But if they're bringing Game Boy Color, I would be very, very, very surprised if that didn't exist. If they didn't do the connectivity, because if you're bringing Game Boy Color in there, why the fuck would you not do it?
Yeah, the Game Boy, because there was connectivity between the Mario Golf on Game Boy Color and 64, like we were saying last week. So that would be pretty cool to actually have that.
That's why there's 4 empty spaces that you will never see filled with anyone if you don't have your Game Boy Color connectivity. So it's sad, but no. And also, well, when you see the credits, it actually shows those characters that you would get if you connected your Game Boy Color to your 64. So you do get to see what they look like. Because I see my character from the Game Boy Color game, which I played on 3DS, and I'm like, oh, I know that guy. There he is in 3D. And look at him. So you could see some extra ones on there.
Do you play as your character? Like, is that a choosable character in multiplayer or whatever?
The one from Game Boy Color?
Yeah.
Only if you have the transfer pack, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was the idea. You could do it in the Game Boy Advance one, also through the 64 or through the GameCube one. But yeah, the idea is that you could take your character that you built up through the RPG in Mario Golf and bring them into the 3D world of Mario Golf 64. And that's really cool. So that was the idea. It's like the same, like Pokemon Stadium, where you take like your Pokemon and then it's like, hey, here they are. They're in 3D. So I was wondering if they would do something like that. And I think that was in the leak as well. The leak was saying that they were testing out connectivity also. And I was thinking about it the other day, how I was talking about how like they wouldn't release Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance at the same time. I was like, well, they could do a thing where they threw like Game Boy Advance on the expansion pack and maybe put Game Boy Color on the regular one. You could do that. You could do like the lesser and the bigger one to try to bring more people to expansion pack. Oh yeah, and like before I forget, they also announced that the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion got added to the expansion pack as well now. So that's cool. I feel like they're really building that up a lot. Like as far as right now, I don't really understand why you wouldn't get it. Like if you were interested in the Animal Crossing DLC, the Mario Kart DLC, or Splatoon, like you have the price of all those is pretty much the price of the whole thing for a year. So it's like for like 3 years of it, you're still getting, the amount plus like the 64 and the Genesis games and all that. And they added some more Genesis games as well, which I played around with a little bit, which I played around with a little bit last night while I was editing. But I played Space Harrier 2. It does not run as well as the arcade, but I guess I never really played it on Sega, so on the Genesis, so that was kind of cool to experience that. But I did not play Sonic Spinball. I should have, but I've played enough of it. I don't know. I never really got into. I could not really get into that game. I know Jeremy did. I know you made a video of it for YouTube
Yeah.
way back when.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
Super hard.
It's quite
Yeah,
difficult.
I had it on Genesis back in the day, and of course, playing Sonic 2, you had the Casino Night Zone, and everyone was like, "Oh, wouldn't that be cool if that was a whole game?" That's kind of where that started.
Yeah,
but they had a different development team work on it than the core Sonic games, and it just feels different than a Sonic game. I mean, it's a good game still. It's just really hard, and
it's really floaty because
really floaty. Yeah,
it had some really weird.
You're changing between you're controlling Sonic to all of a sudden he's a ball, and then you're controlling it with just flippers, and that's awkward.
It's really strange. It doesn't. I mean, I thought it never controlled as well as any of the other pinball counterparts that we had, like, versus like Pokemon pinball or like Metroid pinball or Mario pinball or anything like that. But those never really transitioned into the character, like walking around and not being
right
pinball.
I think it's still worth it. I would still call it a good game. Even it's just so hard, and it, if you've played Sonic Spinball, you've certainly played all the other Sonic games on Genesis, and you're left with that reminder of how good it felt on that Casino Night Zone level on Sonic 2, and it just seems like, I wish it was that. I wish it was more like that, but a full game. So worth trying, certainly, if you've got the NSO. Give it a check. Check it out.
Yeah, I haven't played it since the Sonic Mega Collection on GameCube, but yeah, you could try it again. And now you have Rewind and Save State and all that stuff. And
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting past the fourth table finally for the first time in 25 years.
It's really cheap to just buy it too. I mean, I know it's free if you already have NSO, but the expansion. But I think you can get this game for like $5 or less, probably,
for the actual cartridge.
Mm-hmm. It seems like one of those games it's just like everybody had it for some reason. I don't know if it was a pack-in for a while or what, but anybody that had a Sega I knew had that game.
Maybe they all wanted they all wanted the casino level, and it has its own thing. It says like $15 with the box on eBay, which is pretty good for a game with Sonic on it. Maybe so many people bought Sonics that they're not really. It's not like trying to find a Streets of Rage or Phantasy Star or something like that. But I did play around with some other stuff on the Sega Genesis app. I almost beat Altered Beast from playing that. So I like that game. And I forgot, but I remembered that it has a similar code like Mario does. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you remember in the original Mario game, when you get a game over, if you press A and start at the same time, you can continue to where you were. Continue to
really?
To the world.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
I don't remember.
I didn't know that.
Well, you can do the same thing in Altered Beast, where as long as you got past the first level, when you get a game over, you can press A and start. And in order to do that, you have to figure out where A is on the controller, because it's not where A is on your. Mm-hmm. It's different. It's Y actually, because because of the weirdness of the Sega controllers. But anyway, yeah, if you press A and start, you can restart from where you were. So I was doing that, and I was trying to get to the end. And I think I got to the very last level, but I just couldn't beat the boss. Like, even with like the 3 lives that I had, I was still not.
Welcome to your doom.
A side note on that is that
I like that game.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Me too.
The voices on that game, in combination with the rewind function of the NSO, that gets pretty fun. I was playing that with my nephew, and he just got a blast out of it when I was rewinding. When the guy dies, he goes, oh, yeah. And then I was rewinding, so he goes, oh. You have to do that for like 5 minutes, and he just thought that was the funniest thing ever.
I didn't know it played the sound back when you rewind.
It does
reverse the sound. I was playing it while I was editing, so I didn't hear any.
No, I was playing it on. No, excuse me, I was playing it on the Genesis Classics collection. That's right.
Oh, okay.
On the Classics collection, it'll do that. So I'm misremembering, but yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it does it on NSO, because it's just like when you go back, it just makes little noises like that. But yeah, it's nice to be reminded that Sega's still on there. I tend to forget about it, but I know a lot of people don't. You Sega fans too, and I'm a Sega fan. I get super distracted by Mario Golf, which is great. Like that's definitely the game I've played the most out of everything. I think I put like 800 minutes or something in there. It's in my top most played 64 game so far. So It's great. I really like that game a lot. As hard as it is, and I like save scum the fuck out of that through the tournament, but I don't care. It's still fun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you still really have to know how to do it, though. Like, it's really hard. Like, if you don't know how to play it, even with the same scubbing, you can't just, like, automatically beat it. You still gotta experiment a lot to figure out how to hit the ball right, because a lot of it seems kind of random as to where it lands. But It's cool. It's cool to play though. I really
When
like
you
the
save
old.
scum, does the wind keep changing every time, or does
No,
it
it'll stay
consistent?
the same. In the
Okay.
I remember in the GameCube one, if you do like the save, the save and quit restart, the weather
Mhm.
would change. But in this one, it doesn't. The weather stays the same. So that was an
Cool.
interesting thing you could do with Toadstool Tour. Also, it'd be like, oh, there's too much wind. You could save, quit, and come back, and the wind might be gone. But this one, I noticed like because I do the save and quit also, which you could do in the game regardless, and it stays the same, like the wind speed and all that. But it's fun. I was what else? Oh yeah, my other credits. I beat Skywalker Saga finally. I made it all the way through that wonderful episode 9. Got to kill the Emperor for the 10th time or whatever. So I beat that. I got to the credits, and I just I've been doing the open world stuff, just walking around and collecting the kyber crystals and stuff like that. And that's where that's as Anakin would say, that's where the fun begins. Started doing like the open world stuff, and I've just been running around Cloud City, and it's a lot of fun looking for all the kyber crystals and other stuff. And when you unlock you can like build your level to where you can see all the kyber crystals in the world, so you know where they're at, but you don't know how to get to them. So there's still like one I can't find. It's like I can find it, I know where it is, but I don't know how to get to it. Oh, and when I was I streamed it the other night, to try to test out our new internet and all that stuff, and it did work for the most part. Well, I mean, it worked until it didn't work, like most things. But it worked for a good like 2 or 3 hours. And it actually stopped working when I had about like 5 minutes left in the game. So whatever, I just finished the final boss battle without streaming, just because it had just like disappeared for whatever reason. But that's fine. Nobody's watching anyway. but I ran when I started it up. I was in I'd quit in the middle of The Last Jedi in the game, and I thought I had encountered a game breaking bug because I was in this mission where you have to find a carton of blue milk for Luke. Blue milk. Loves it from all the older movies and all that stuff. And the game said that I already had the carton of blue milk, and I could go and walk up to Luke, but I couldn't talk to Luke. He would just like look at me and just like move his hands around, but he wouldn't say anything. So I couldn't get to the next level. I couldn't get to the story or anything. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I had read other reviews saying that they had run into like game breaking bugs before where characters wouldn't appear, or like they couldn't get like events to trigger, because of whatever reason. And I'm like, oh god, did I screw it up? Because I had played through like all 8 of the episodes, and it would really suck for it to like die in the middle of the 8th one, and then I just can't progress anymore, and then I have to start all over again. I was like, I do not want to do that. So, but I looked on Reddit, and it turned out that it's like a normal glitch. I guess you basically have to run around the island until you find another spot that says start mission. So you don't even have to bring the milk to Luke. You can just go to this other thing, and it says continue story, and that's how you do it. But I would have never known how to do it if I didn't find it on Reddit. So I'm just like, I'm glad I didn't have to review that early. Like, that's kind of a nightmare I have, is running into like glitches and stuff like that where you have nobody to talk to about it. But yeah, it was like, I thought it was broken for a second, and I was like, oh shit. But thankfully it wasn't. And I made it through, and I got to the credits. So that's my third credits. It took me about 20 hours to beat like the regular levels, and then with all the amount of unlockable kyber crystals and stuff like that, the game could take like hundreds of hours. So that's great. It's a great podcast game, to just run around and find shit. Is what I did in the other Lego games that I like so much. Marvel superheroes and Lego Batman 2.
Do you get to fly around in it?
Well, kind of. Well, you don't get to like fly around on the surface, but you can leave the planet and fly around outside of the planet, in the space outside of the planet.
Okay.
So is it like is it kind of like a cutscene then if you're on the planet and you're on your ship and you take off and leave, you say you don't get to fly around on the planet, so you just get on the ship and
yeah, it's not like you can. It's not like a whole transition where you get in your ship and you fly like through the atmosphere and then you're in space, which is the same, because that would have been really cool. No, you get in there and then it like has a little loading screen and then you're in space. So it's not like
that was the coolest thing about that game, Starlink, or what's the one with the Star Fox?
I think it was Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink.
That's probably the only.
You can actually
that's probably the only cool thing about that game. But it had promise, but. Yeah, it was disappointing. I mean, I bought it. I tried to play it. I bought all the DLC. Still tried to play it. Couldn't do it. But there was what was it supposed to be? Star Wars Battlefront 3, the original one, not the EA one. The Radical Entertainment was supposed to make it. The guys who did what's it called? Time Splitters. The guys who did Free Radical. Free Radical was supposed to make it, and they did actually make it to where you could take off from the planet's surface and go through the atmosphere and into space. And there was a video of it that was released like after their company went under, and they're like, here's a engine that we developed for Battlefront 3, but we don't exist anymore, so this will never happen. And it never did, not even with EA or anything. So that sucks. But no, yeah, you can fly around in different ships like in space, and there's like races, and there's like different like missions you can do like outside of the planet and stuff like that.
I think No Man's Sky has something like that where you can take off from the surface and go to space.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see whenever it comes out. But I mean, there are like vehicles that you can use on the surface, but you can't like leave. You can't leave the world with them, unfortunately. At least not as from what I've seen yet. I guess I haven't really tried it. That would be cool. But even when you like hyperspace, there's a little like cutscene where it goes from like planet to planet, where you kind of just like fly around in the hyperspace tube, and then it lands. It's basically disguised loading and all that stuff. But it's still fun. It's a fun game. And the other day, was it last Saturday? Jess and I, we went out drinking with my niece, and we had a bunch of drinks at a brewery place in Aurora. And we got back and had another beer, and I was kind of felt like a little like maybe a little like tipsy. And I was playing Kirby for a while, and I actually got stuck on a boss. I was stuck on this like whatever you call him, this roll up looking guy. I just could not beat him, and I got killed like 10 times, and I ended up just giving up. I ended up rage quitting Kirby. So there was a boss I could just not kill.
Wow. Rage quitting Kirby.
It's the second to the last set of levels, I think. But yeah, this like armadillo guy, I just could not beat him, and I ended up just quitting. So
I would get into Kirby if there was a game called like Kirby's Rage. I want to see something like that. Kirby flips out.
Kirby's Rage Quit, spelled KWIT.
I mean, he's always kind of mad on the front of all the American releases, where he's got his eyes are like that. It has his eyebrows got the V in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I played more of Nobody Saves the World, which we talked about last week. I actually started liking it a lot more after we talked about it. I was starting to get into like the more cool parts of it. Even though I'm stuck on multiple. I'm stuck on like multiple different dungeons. Like there's like 3 or 4 different dungeons in the map that I keep dying at the same time in there. But it is fun unlocking all of the different characters and the classes and all that stuff. And I'm super into that stuff, and I like doing that type of grinding. So, and I got the Ghost class, and for some reason I can't figure out how to do like it's like the Boo 2 or the Haunt 2 quest. And it's like when you're a ghost, you just basically make like this circle of damage appear around you, and you just walk people into the damage, and it kills them. In this quest, it wants you to make this circle bigger, and I can't figure out how to do it. Like I've hit like every button in the game. I mean, there's only like 6 buttons or whatever. I've hit all of them, and none of them do anything. And I've got the circle to change colors and say level 2, but I still don't get anything for the quest. And I tried looking it up online. I couldn't find anything. So if anybody's listening to this and plays that game, let me know how the fuck you're supposed to get through that whatever it is. It's the regular attack move for the ghost level 2, and I just can't do it.
I couldn't find stuff for Garden Story for a couple spots that I got stuck in. I think it's just not that many people were playing it.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I was surprised it didn't really take off. Like I was looking at the the top sales stuff in the eShop, and I think Nobody Saves the World was maybe at the bottom of like the download only. I figured it would have went off bigger because it got bigger reviews and Drinkbox and all that stuff. But I don't know, maybe people don't care. But you should get it because it's a great game. That's what I'm saying. It seemed like it fizzled out really quickly. Like nobody really cared.
I haven't purchased a game for months.
Yeah,
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, there's Pocky and Rocky. You try that one out. Well, there's also one.
I don't know. The lack of Becky makes me kind of.
I don't even know which one is Becky. But what you can do, if you can get your Wii U to connect to the internet, you can buy Pocky and Rocky with Becky on the Wii U for Game Boy Advance.
Right.
So, which I was planning on getting actually. So once again, I have to try to get mine to connect to the internet. Now that everything that I have can't connect to the internet, it's a whole new game. Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Well, you guys know what I've been playing.
You've been.
I wanted to point out though.
I was going to throw
that I did play Switch this week and I already said what I did. I played Tetris, so that was it. I'm at level 101, so that's why I said Mr. Dalmatians at the beginning. So yeah, I crossed that threshold. I'm at crazy high level, and yeah, I'm just having fun. At this point, the game's gotten pretty easy. If I just go to certain regions, like I'm pretty good shape. Like unless I'm just outright sloppy, like I can go in. So one thing I've been having fun doing is going into the levels I've already finished and just walking through, just killing every enemy I see in one hit, having fun doing that, and then just exploring and finding all the stuff I probably missed. There's a lot of hidden stuff. Like I went back to Stormvale, the castle that's kind of the first sort of dungeon you get to, and it's been weeks since I've really been there, played that area. And I went back and I found this huge area that I had missed completely. And I could see why it was easy to miss it. You had to like go off a ledge over here, and it looked like you might die if you fell. But I was like, fuck it, I'll just jump down there and see. And it took away quite a bit of damage, but I survived the fall. And then it's just a bunch of dead bodies everywhere and rats. It's pretty gross. And then while I was down there, I found this giant face, like a dead face that's like probably the size of like a small skyscraper, just kind of draped over the ground with these tentacles coming out of it. Really creepy stuff. Kind of, have you ever seen the episode of Ren and Stimpy where they're eating the hog faces?
I don't remember
that episode where like it's like the hog faces get set in the window, kind of like a pie, and they're trying to steal them. But it's literally just
vaguely
skin of the hogs. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Just a giant version of that. So yeah, I actually found a YouTube video about it, and the game never really answers what it is. But you get it's like the Prince of Death's pustule. You pick that up as an item, so that's pretty gross. But the theory is that this is one of the gods that died. It's just his dead body. One of like the main gods. Basically like not like Zeus, but Zeus's dad, kind of that level of gods, like old gods. So yeah, that's cool. I found out that from listening to that Bonfire Side Chat, which is a great podcast, I'm plugging it again, that I killed a pretty important character a while ago. So I was fighting this boss, and he was in a cave. I went into this cave, and I found a treasure chest, and usually treasure chests are protected when you go into these kind of areas. So I thought it was weird. I could just walk up and open up the treasure chest. I opened it up, and it had like a cloth shirt, something really like useless. I was like, this is weird. And then right away, someone's like, aha, stealing from me, are you? And this guy starts attacking me, and he's pretty strong. Like, he almost killed me. So I started fighting back and realized he's pretty weak. So I'm kind of like swinging wildly, and then he goes, wait, stop. But like right after he said that, I like was still in the animation of my attack, and I killed him. Turns out his name is Patches, and he's like kind of an important character for like a lot of the side quests. So I probably screwed that up. And you can't really like do a save revert in this game. It just saves all the time. And since I'm playing it on Steam, it's always doing a cloud save as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like, well, Patches is dead. But I guess Patches is a really important character in all the Souls games. Like, he shows up. He's kind of like a little joke character they have in each game. Yeah.
Is he like Sid?
Kind of like Sid, yeah.
I guess Sid's not a joke character, but he's in like
Sid's
Final
actually
Fantasy.
Usually pretty important. Yeah.
Who's Sid?
Sid's
like
Sid's a character in Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Usually the one who builds the airship or involved with the airship in some way.
He's a reoccurring character, even though what was it in Final Fantasy 15? It was Sid's daughter that runs an auto repair shop that you take the car to. So that's where that was. But yeah, Sid's always in there in some way. Sid is also a playable character in the racing game in the Chocobo racing.
Chocobo.
Yeah, so he's in there. But he's got a big beard, big glasses. He's cool.
Yeah, Sid's pretty cool. Yeah, so Patches, I guess, and I heard a little bit of like, they were just talking about it on that podcast, so I was like, oh, okay, well, I can learn about him at least. Turns out I like would have ended up being able to buy a lot of cool stuff from him. Because you do a lot of side quests where you're like basically running stuff for him, like running items around, and then he'll give you new items, I think. Kind of fetch questy, but I still would have liked to get some more cool stuff. Whatever, though. So last week I had just finished beating Star Scourge Radon, and Alex, I asked Alex where he was. Alex Arota, who was on last week, he said he was in Mount Gilmere. So I kind of made my way to there so I could kind of like, I don't know, see what was over there. I decided I think I'm just going to beat all the shard bearers, because you only need to beat 2. But at this point I've beaten 3, so I might as well just beat 4. And then I'll have beaten all the ones that are out and in the overworld before I like go to the next part of the game, which I think is like a whole other section. But speaking of other sections, I followed that there's a falling star that falls out of the sky, obviously, after you beat that boss I beat last week. Turns out, I didn't realize this, that guy was keeping the stars from moving. So stars can move again thanks to beating him. But one of them fell out of the sky and made a huge hole in the ground. And so I went there and found a whole underground city called the Eternal City of Nokron. And I guess it's like, basically, the whole world rejected this city because they were like heretics or something like that. So it got pushed under. It's like all underground, and it's really awesome. It's just a whole other world down there. And the way you get to it is really cool too, because you just see this gigantic gaping hole in the ground where there used to just be like a field that you could run through, and you'd actually descend all the way down, and I'd say it's thousands of feet. You're just dropping down all these ledges and seeing all these ruins as you go down and finding a lot of cool items and stuff. Not a whole lot of bosses, or not a whole lot of enemies, just sort of like a platforming section that was really fun and really like visually satisfying to watch, you know, because there's like all this cool fog and all, like there's ruins everywhere in this game, but the ones underground are like sparkly. They're even cooler. They're like magical. So yeah, there's so much that I've done since last week. Basically, I've just been running around and doing all these side quests and getting stronger, obviously, gaining levels. I found out you have to, after you beat one of those bosses, they give you the piece of the Elden Ring. That's the rune they give you. Each boss has one. You have to actually activate it. You have to go to a divine tower in each region wherever the boss was located. And then you climb all the way to the top of that, and then you activate the rune. And then you have to equip the rune, and then to actually use the rune, you have to use it's really complicated. You know, I'm almost 200 hours into this game, and I just realized that you have to use this item called a rune arc, which is a item that, you know, you use up and it's gone. So you have a finite number of them. You use the rune arc, and then the rune that you have equipped becomes active. So I would have never figured this out if I hadn't got online and looked it up. But you use the rune arc, and you're really, really strong. And you keep it stays active until you die. So theoretically, if you were wanting to just grind and you knew you weren't going to die, you can activate a rune arc, and then you're just super strong. Like the one I have activated right now makes me like, it just boosts all my stats. So it's like I'm like several levels stronger than I am already. And it just makes it really easy to just run through and just decimate stuff and get a lot of experience points or whatever, runes. Yeah, I was trying to think what else I've done. Oh, I guess this is kind of cool. So last week I mentioned they had released a patch, and not to be confused with patches, what I was just talking about, but they released a patch that makes the game run better. I guess, yeah, the long and short is that this game just keeps surprising me with how deep it is, and some might find that annoying. I actually kind of do find it a little annoying that I could have been doing a lot of these things for the whole time, but I don't think I'm alone in not getting all the little minutia of this game. I think you just have to look this shit up and figure it out that way. So that's
Does it make you want to play through it again?
I'm already like thinking about my next playthrough, yeah, because this game's all about creating the character you want to play with, and it can change your entire experience for the game. Like kind of like Monster Hunter, you know, like if you play with a different weapon, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, each weapon is their own game, pretty much. Like you could
exactly,
and then it's, you know, infinite.
So if I played again, I would probably do. I think I want to do the either the Wretch or the because the Wretch is like the naked character. There's always like a naked character in these games, I guess. So I either want to be the Wretch or I want to be just try to be the Samurai. The Samurai playthrough is supposed to be really, really fun because it's like a stealth, and you know, it's very stealthy because you're quieter. You have like stealth magic you get to use, and you can just totally decimate people with a sword. That'll be fun. Like a katana rather than all these heavy great swords and stuff. Like a katana would be more fun, I think, for taking people down really quick. Yeah. I'm excited to play this again.
I never like the really slow moving giant swords in any of the RPGs that I've played. I'm more about the quicker stuff.
But I guess the one big thing I wanted to mention lastly is that patch that they released that made the game run better made it to where it works on my other computer.
Oh, cool.
So it's great. Yeah, it's like, holy shit. Since it's on Steam, like the cloud save, I can just go between the two computers at will, and I just keep playing, you know. So it's also great playing it on my big old TV screen, which it's not huge. It's like a 32-inch TV or whatever, but it compared to the little laptop screen, it actually makes the game more fun because I can actually see things better, and like I found so much extra stuff just because I can see better, like going back into old areas. And yeah, I don't know when I'll beat this game.
When I was, I don't know, that reminds me, I mean, I'm sure you do the thing like whenever you get like a new TV or something, or you get a bigger TV, you like return to old games that you've played before. At least I did that. You know, it kind of reminds me of that. Like when I first got like a big TV when I was a kid at my mom's house. When we first got like a big tube TV, I played like all of my favorite Super Nintendo games again on it. Like I remember playing like Maximum Carnage and stuff like that, and seeing what extra stuff I could find. Even though there's not really that much extra stuff for that, but I did that a lot. Like when we got this bigger TV here, I did the same thing where I tried to play. Sometimes you notice like versus when you're playing something in handheld versus playing it on the TV, like you'll notice a lot more sometimes.
I remember going from a 19-inch TV to a 25-inch. And 25-inch was huge in 1993, and just marveling at how big Mario was. I was like, Mario's as big as my pinky finger. This is like amazing.
It's like 25 inches so small still. It's just like 6 inches more.
And just the other day, my nephew was at my parents' house and looking at there's a TV up in the bedroom, in my bedroom when I stayed there, and it's like a 40-inch or something. And he said, "Why is your TV so small?" Like, you don't even 40 inches is small to him.
Yeah.
Is it a flat screen or like an old tube TV?
It's a flat screen.
Oh, okay. I was to say, if you have a 40-inch tube TV up in your
oh, geez.
I would be very jealous.
Yeah, it weighs 600 pounds.
I mean, we have a giant tube TV in our apartment here. I would love for you to, I don't know, convince Conan to sell it to you or something so we could get it out of the living room. It's just been sitting there for like 3 years.
Did you give it? Is it Conan's TV?
Yeah, he found it outside in the trash.
And it works?
Yeah, it's a big TV. It's very heavy, though. We can't move it.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe you would make an offer to him and you could take it out of here.
I might.
You would need multiple.
I don't know how I'm going to transfer it.
You would need multiple people to get it out. It's very heavy. It would be very difficult.
Yeah, and then I got to get it here, and then I got to get it upstairs.
Yep.
At my house.
Yep. It would be a to-do, as we say.
Well, that's it for you, Jeremy. And speaking of Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, I've been playing that again, and I beat the Ballad of the Champions. So I'm not quite through with all the DLC.
Do you have the
yet?
Do you have the motorcycle then?
I got the motorcycle. Yep.
What do you think?
It's fun.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, it's really fun. And I was playing it. I brought it over to my sister's house, and I said to my nephew, "Hey, I got something really cool on my Breath of the Wild that you don't have." He said, "What?" And I said, "I'm just going to turn it on and let you see it." And so I went to the top of a mountain and summoned the motorcycle, and he was just like, "Whoa!" And he just had fun playing that all day. So yeah, it's really a lot of fun. Just it's maybe one of the best, like, ultimate beat the game rewards ever, especially with such a game as Breath of the Wild, where it's all about exploring the land, and the whole 200 hours you've been playing, it's taken you a long time to build up and see every bit, if you have seen every bit of the land. And then at the end, it's like, well, here you go. Now you can go 100 miles an hour and like pop wheelies and fly off of cliffs and stuff. It's like, it's so satisfying.
It's great. It's just, well, it adds you another way to explore the world more. That's why I was saying that it's good to get it earlier than before you've already explored everything, because if you already explore everything and then you get the motorcycle, it's like, what's the point? You just get to drive by all the places you've already been to. It's more fun to have this. You have the motorcycle and just drive around. Like, that's what I did for a while after I got it. And I was like, well, where haven't I gone to on the map? I'll just drive there with the motorcycle.
Can you run moblins down?
You can.
Nice.
Yep. So you haven't gotten it yet, Jeremy?
No.
Sorry. Okay. I can confirm without spoilers that the end boss that Trey said was so cool is so cool.
Good.
And
I was correct.
Yeah,
I was hoping I didn't misremember it. But yeah, don't say what it is, because I want you to.
No, I won't say what it is.
I want you to find it on your own eventually.
It's Zelda.
Finally. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just intend to go through and 100% the game, minus the Korok seeds. I don't think I'll ever want to get all those. But I'm finding that it is making me want to find more of the Korok seeds. The combination of having the motorcycle and the Korok mask, which I got that too, because it's fun to just put the mask on and ride around on the motorcycle, and then the mask sort of shakes every once in a while and gives you a notification that the Korok seed's nearby. If you do that, then finding those Korok seeds does become a little bit addictive. It's like a notification on your phone or something, like, oh, I got to check my phone. Like, my Korok seed is ringing or whatever. I got to go find that thing.
I gotta go pick up the shit.
Right. So I'm enjoying it, and I intend to play a lot more of it. So I also got my brother ate my pudding. which is the newest game in the Mom Hid My
what did
Saga.
I call it? The hid taken eaten verse
dancing saga
multiverse whatever.
The family.
There's another. There's a new one because there was Mom Hid My Game 1 and 2. There was like Mom Can't Dance or what was the other one?
Hide and Dance.
Hide and Dance. Yeah, that's what it was. And now it's what sister took my pudding?
My brother ate my pudding.
Ate my pudding. So do you have to like search out wherever he poops and then you find the remains of the pudding? Or do you have to like find the empty pudding cup or something? Like
the game
Are
starts
there different pudding flavors?
They don't go too much into the pudding, but it starts with the brother going to the fridge, eating the pudding. Then the sister checks the fridge and she says, "Oh, my pudding's gone," and the game begins. And so the sister is chasing the brother throughout the house, and you're the brother, and you have to, instead of finding your game, you have to find a hiding spot to hide from your sister as she runs through the house after you. It's essentially the same. It's just an excuse for more gags and everything. But that series is fantastic. They're always $5, and you can beat them, within one sitting, which I did. I think Trade sent the message. That the game was available. I didn't see it until the next morning, but I saw the message, and within 1 hour, I hopped on, bought the game, and beat it. Wow. And I love it. I love those games.
I played through the first one in an hour. Like that was one of our most watched YouTube videos for a while because I was the only one that did a walkthrough. I guess a sort of quote unquote walkthrough of it. It was just me playing it, but that was like the only way to find the answers to puzzles and stuff for a while in there.
Yeah, you can expect about Mom with the lampshade over her head.
You can expect more like wacky hiding places like that, and more there's a few video game in jokes in there, and the ending is genuinely surprising and funny and made me laugh out loud. I love those games. I played this one actually on the iPhone because the whole series is available on the iPhone, and there's I think it's like 9 or 10 of them, and I think it's pretty much the same. But again, I'm gonna, even though it's available for free on the iPhone, I'm gonna keep getting these games on the Switch because they just seem like Nintendo games. Like it surprised me to learn that they weren't actually first-party Nintendo games. They just seem so much like the old WarioWare mini games and like the good ones. And everyone should play these games. It's so charming and so funny.
I would if my mom hadn't hidden my Switch.
Oh, nuts!
Yeah, I mean,
the other thing.
They're like Japanese. They're like Japanese mobile games, right? Like ported to Switch. But yeah, they have that. They have that good, like weird, quirky humor and all that stuff. I never played 2. I didn't play Mom Hid My Game 2.
No, I played a little bit of the hide and dance or whatever, but that one was.
Yeah, that one wasn't great. The music was cool. I guess I like the music, but
that's right.
It was. It wasn't. I don't know.
When I see the title of this, I can't help but think of that. Was it the State, that sketch with the? You know what I'm talking about?
The like $500 worth of pudding or whatever, where they're
Oh, right, yeah.
See what this box says? It says cook and chill. That's what I do every night, baby. I cook and I chill. Yeah, I love that sketch. Yeah, where they like rub their asses in the pudding at the end.
Excuse me while I touch the sky.
Yeah.
And they rub their ass on the pudding.
Yeah. It's such a stupid, ridiculous skit, but I thought it was hilarious at the time. I still think it's funny.
And then the other thing I did this week was I beat Quake.
You did? You
made that.
You guys are beating games left and right.
I was, first question I had, obviously, when you beat Quake was, how hard was it? Because I love Quake. I think Quake is really good. I hated the boss. I thought the boss was definitely the lowest part of the game because I don't know, it's just not really fun. It's kind of super random. Like, I don't know, like, talk about it.
So the end boss is essentially just, so there's it's like a big blob. You don't even really fight the boss, but imagine a big giant blob in the middle of a room, and you have to go around the room in like this sort of spiraling corridor and make your way up, all the while fighting all the hardest characters that you previously saw in the game. So like that mostly the big giant guy who shoots the electricity at you, or those spider ladies who shoot the bombs at you.
I hate those spider things. Yeah, mostly the spider things. Because isn't there like a portal that they're coming out of also? Like that was my problem. Was I tried to kill all of them, but I ran out of ammo because they never stopped coming. Because there was a portal they kept coming out of. So you have to go all the way to the portal.
There isn't an infinite amount. Like they don't just keep coming out. I think that there's like when I got to the very end, there was one more surprise spider lady that came out of the portal. but it's not like an infinite amount of them. See, I didn't. You had the strategy of just blasting through, trying to make your way to the portal and forgetting about fighting them. My strategy was to save scum the shit out of it, and just inch my way up bit by bit, and finally get there. So I did end up killing all the characters, and it took me at least an hour, I think. And when I got to that level, first off, I didn't even have that much ammo to begin with, so I was kind of behind the 8 ball in that way. So it took me a long time to get up there, and I finally did it. And you're right, there's a portal at the end. There's been portals throughout the game, and you just don't really know where they're going to go when you see them. And so I jumped in the portal finally after beating all these other characters. Jumped in the portal, and it immediately throws me into lava and kills me.
Yeah, it's
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you go straight to death. Yeah,
right. And because it's it's a first person game, it's like I didn't even see where I was really, but I saw it was all red, and I was just thrown into lava. Like I beat all those. So then I tried again, and again it throws me into the lava time after time again. Like, well, what do? I killed all the other characters. Now there's just this big blob thing here, and the blob doesn't even attack you or anything. It just sits there. But that's the end boss.
Yeah.
So like, well, let me try jumping down there and just killing this thing. And so I jumped down to the end boss, and with my few bullets that I had left, I shot it. Ran out of bullets. Now I just have the hatchet. So I'm like, oh, I just have to hack this thing to death with the hatchet, the weakest weapon. And I'm sitting there I must have been hacking the thing for like 10 minutes. Like, is this what I'm supposed to do? Like, it was so anticlimactic.
You have more patience than I do. Like I said, I got annoyed by the guys, and I kept running out of ammo, and they kept respawning. Well, whatever amount of them kept coming out of the portal. So I just looked it up, and I'm like, fuck this. So I just ran through everybody into the portal.
I just didn't know what to do at all, because I'd already beaten everybody else. And I'm like, I jumped in the portal killed me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all right, well, I'm just going to try to hack this thing to death. After 10 minutes of hacking at it with the hatchet, I finally just decided to, like you said, look it up. All right, I'm exhausted. I've exhausted all the possibilities here. And it said you're supposed to jump in the portal. And I did that, and it killed me. Mm-hmm. So I tried again and again. It must have been a total of probably 20 times. And finally, randomly, one time, I went in the portal, and then it went to like a cutscene of the end boss, and I exploded out of the end boss. And that was it. It's like, congratulations, you beat the game. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it must have just been a glitch that I was going in the portal and falling out into the lava.
No. Actually, no. It's not a glitch. Like what it is the portal's moving. The portal's constantly moving around the boss, and you have to jump through the portal when the portal is inside of the boss, not outside of the boss. So if you're outside of the boss, it throws you into the lava and you die. But you have to watch where the portal is, and you have to jump in it when it's inside of the boss, and then you appear inside the boss and kill the boss. It's really dumb.
I did not get that. I saw that little ball thing going around there, but I never had any idea what it was, because there's a ball that's floating around the boss constantly, but it doesn't give you any indication. It doesn't hurt you. It's not a missile or anything like that. It's just like, I thought it was like a weird decorative thing, like maybe that's the boss's eye and that's how he's surveying the land or whatever. I had no clue that was a portal.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like I basically got really, I think I looked up on how to do it, and I was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to go run through the portal. So I just ran through everything, and then I ran through the portal, and it happened to be in the boss, and the boss exploded, and it's like, hooray! And I'm like, okay, I did it in one hit, and I was like, all right. This level's stupid. It was my least favorite of. They had better bosses in the game, and I love the game. Like I played it all the way through the end. I really liked it a lot, but that final boss was like, I thought it was really dumb, and they really don't explain it at all. Like, it's like, how would have you figured that out if you didn't have the internet, or if it hadn't been out for like 20 years or however long it's been out for?
They should have had like a little baby step at the beginning to teach you that, hey, this portal that you're just stepping into is. The other end of it is this little ball thing that's floating around. If they had done something simple at the beginning of the level, then maybe that would have been an interesting boss fight. Instead, you're right. It was just, they're throwing the hardest enemies at me, and then at the end, I get in the portal and I fall in lava and die. I was on 100%. I played that game the whole day the other day. I played it for like 10 hours, so I was on 100% on Quake, and right up into the end, I was like, pedal to the metal, let's go. And then, wait, what?
Yeah, no, like I said, it's really, really fun. And then that end part just like is like, what the fuck? It's just like really just grinds the funness to a stop there, just with this really weird, obscure boss. I mean, we could do it. I'm sure we kind of did it with our endings episode on Patreon, but I thought about we could do a whole Patreon episode about bosses, disappointing ones and gratifying ones. And that was definitely a disappointing one for me because I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's either like you really get super frustrated with it or it just randomly happens and you don't know, there's no like satisfaction to it, really. It's just kind of like, I understand it's different than all the other ones, but it's real confusing. And it's not fair also if you like didn't save and you fought through all these fucking guys and you get to fight through them again in hopes to maybe kill the guy and not end up in the lava again. It's like, so, yeah, not cool.
But yeah, my pick of the week is pudding.
Hopefully you continue to play Quake because there is like additional DLC chapters.
Oh,
after
yeah.
that.
It actually, they just updated it too. I should talk about that. It was a big difference between, last week when I played it and then after the update. You can see just visually it pops more. They updated the contrast levels. It looks a lot better. And then they added something about horde mode. Let's see what else was added in there. I'm really impressed with how they're keeping up with and modernizing this game, especially after they just had a sale. And usually when you get the sale, it's like, oh, this game's on the outs, and they're just trying to squeeze another buck out of it. But they're really continuing to support this 25-year-old game, so that's cool.
Well, I mean, I think that Quake is like, it's like Super Mario Brothers to some people. Like this was like a big like revolutionary first-person shooter when it came out, so people still like love it and they still love the way it is, so they still want to continue to put things out for it. Like a lot of the stuff and some of the stuff that they add are like fan stuff that people make, like additional levels and that's cool. Like they do the same thing with Doom, like with the Doom games, like you can play additional fan-made maps and stuff like that still on like Doom 1 and 2 on the Switch even, which is really cool. It's just like the people love it so much still because it's still a great game and it meant so much, when it came out. So I feel like that's probably why they keep doing stuff with it.
Some of the cool stuff they've added is like it'll read the voice chat if you happen to do a chat in this game. It can basically do text to speech. So if you are someone who's maybe sight impaired and can't read the speech, it'll automatically voice it. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, I feel like it would be also really advantageous if you're like playing it and you don't have time to look at it. Like I was wondering, do people do that? Like, is there a way to do that when you stream on Twitch? Like when people comment to you, is there a way to like I'm sure there is. There's a way for your computer to just like read it to you. Because because if you're playing like a very intense gameplay game, you're not going to be able to look at the chat. You're not going to be able to respond to these people because you're in the middle of this very action heavy game. So I was thinking about that the other day because if I'm playing like a racing game or something like that, I can't look at the chat at all, because I got my eyes is on the road the whole time, and I have no real like sit around time, or sometimes when I look at the chat, I miss the game, and I wonder about those people who have like 100 people. Like I know there's like moderators and stuff, but there has to be like somebody like telling them what they're saying. Like they don't have time to read all those comments and all that stuff. I'm just saying it would be really helpful. Like I worked with a person on a job that she said she had like her earbuds in. And her phone would just like read her text message to her whenever they come through, so you don't have to check your phone. It would just automatically read it into your ear whenever you get text. And I was like, well, that's super handy,
Yeah.
For especially if you're like on the go, like doing production stuff and all that, you don't have to look at your phone ever because it'll automatically tell you whatever the production is telling you, like through the text message and all that.
Right.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
I would be interested in playing some multiplayer on this game.
We could try it.
Up to it.
We could try to. I mean, well, we have it. Oh no, Jeremy has it too. I guess. Yeah, we could all. I mean, because you can play. I mean, you could probably play it. It is cross-platform multiplayer, which is really cool. So there's a chance that you might actually be able to play somebody online, even when we're not there. But we should be able to all play online. Like I said, my internet's weird, so I don't know how well it'll work now. But it would be worth a try. We could try it out. And I also want to play 4-player golf, Mario Golf. Second,
that'd be fun.
Knock you all down.
That's it for me, though.
All right, cool. Well, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about the news and releases and all that stuff.
Heck yes. Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
We're back from the break, and let's talk about the releases for this week, because there's quite a few coming out. This week is the release of Switch Sports, coming out this Friday for $39.99. I kept trying to convince myself to not get the game, because I kept thinking it was going to be $60, but $40 I think is worthy of still getting it, even though I'm only really interested in the bowling aspect of it. But I was like, once again, I need to get some sort of weird, alright, so Switch Sports is coming out this Friday, $4.29. Are either of you interested?
Interested, but I'm going to hold off. I just don't need it right now. I got a lot of other stuff I'm playing. So at some point where there's a lull, I'll pick it up, because I enjoyed the beta test. I thought the bowling was really fun. Looking forward to trying some of the other stuff. And it'll be fun to have a Wii Sports-like experience again.
Yeah, I think I might pick it up maybe this summer if we have a barbecue or something. Maybe that I'll be I'm going to pick up that sports game so we can play it with friends.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm not really that super interested in it. I thought it was actually going to cost a lot more. That it's cool that it's $40 and not $50. For some reason, I thought it was $50 or $60, but it isn't. I was I could buy it for MGC and maybe people could come play it or something. But I don't know. It's kind of I would only play it just so Jess and I could play bowling. And that's the real thing that I care about, because I don't really care that much about playing tennis or volleyball or badminton or whatever. And yeah, I'll play golf later when it gets added. So it's still kind of I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'll probably still end up getting it just because I buy everything Nintendo. But I might not buy it till I get back. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. We'll see what's going on this Friday when it comes out, or this Thursday night or whatever.
Well, at $40, that means the eventual sale price will be $30, and I think at $30 it'll be a no-brainer. That would probably trigger me to get it.
But that sale price, if it happens, isn't going to happen for another 3 years.
True.
Because that's the way Nintendo sales work, as in they don't exist, basically. And you'll get lucky to get $10 off. I mean, you'll have to buy it physical if you actually want to get it for a sale price. But maybe when it adds golf to it, it'll be worth it. But yeah, Switch Sports coming out this Friday. Yeah, we'll see on that one. I'm waiting for some reviews too, to see if this nostalgia to Wii Sports thing actually will work, for a $39.99 game. Also, there's some other games that I thought were worth mentioning coming out this week. Marble Maid comes out on the 28th. It's actually a monkey ball game, but it's a maid and a ball. It's $9.99. You can jump around. It looks kind of funny. The levels look. For anybody who's looking for that monkey ball action, you can get more of it for $10. This one is a H game, I guess, as Alex would refer to it. I actually showed him a trailer for it because I thought it was so funny. There's a game called Waifu Impact, which is a third-person water gun shooter with basically anime girls running around in bikinis, and you shoot them with super soakers. It looks really dumb, but it's $5, and it might be fun for a stream or something like that, I guess.
I see what you did there.
I wasn't even trying, but there it is. Also, Bug Snacks comes out this week on the 28th.
I am
Thursday.
interested in this.
$25 is what it's releasing at. Bug Snacks, of course, was a big, Xbox, whatever it's called, release.
I think I'm going to get that.
No, it was on Xbox, Bug Snacks.
Yeah, it was
Well,
an
I thought it was
Xbox
PS5.
One X exclusive at first.
Yeah. I remember Jeremy saying it was Bug Snacks for Xbox.
Yep.
So that's how you remember things. Make weird rhymes about it.
Or that KKB's in it, so I have to buy it.
Yeah, KKB does the main theme. I don't know if they do more than that, but I'm really interested in it. It's the Octodad developers. I'm kind of just curious to see what people say about how it runs on Switch. I'm not really running out to get it on the
It's a
28th.
bizarre
Well,
ass game, so
I mean,
I'll
I'm-
get it and I can tell you what I think.
Sure.
You could be the ambassador. I'm not running out to get anything, so I buy everything digitally, so I don't know why I even said that. But getting on the eShop and doing whatever.
I think it's time I bought something on the Switch.
Yeah, get some Bug Snacks. Maybe you do Bug Snacks, and maybe I'll do Switch Sports still. I don't know. It depends on whether anybody wants to hang out with me at MGC. Maybe I'll want to get it just to have it as a party game or something. Another game called Light Fairy Tale. It's a chibi-looking turn-based RPG, which kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VII and some of the art style, I guess, minus the chibiness. But it had been like people had talked about it before on other things. It's $8.99. It's the first episode. It's on sale, $1 off. It's normally $9.99. Light Fairy Tale. I don't know, it looked kind of cool. It was like, well, only one chapter. Maybe I could try it. Another big one that was announced, Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe version, is coming out this week also for $24.99.
Definitely
comes out
getting this one. Not this week though. I love these kind of games. Sort of, first person puzzle, Portal, Superliminal. I've been hearing a lot about this one, and I've never tried it, so I'm very fascinated.
Yeah, $24.99. I don't know what all you could get with it, but I mean that's a fine price for me. Anything around $20, I think is great. That's coming out on Wednesday. Also, Zombie Army 4, which is a game that I reviewed. It just came out as of the time that we're recording this. And Zombie Army 4, the big question that I had for that is as I was playing through the game, there were things that showed up as downloadable content, as DLC, but you could not access any of it until the actual release date. And now that the game has been released, they've shown what the DLC stuff is. And I had an idea. I had to do some extra research for the review, but basically you get Season 1 content for free, for $50 with the purchase of the regular game. And Season 2 and 3, which are already out for PC, those are available, but you have to buy them each for $34.99. That's $35 each, which is kind of expensive. And I was just looking through as to what you get. You can buy each thing separately if you want. You can kind of like piecemeal them. But if you do that, that's going to be like $70 each or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like the difference is like if you do, because like each character set is like $10. Like I think like the new weapons is $10. Like each of the new levels I think is $8, something like that. So I mean I was like, well maybe I could, because the only thing I'm really interested in is the new weapons and the new levels, for the DLC. And I figured out that if I bought the new levels and the new weapons, it would end up being like $32.99 or something like that. I'd be saving like $2. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I guess I'll have to get the $34.99 one. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it yet, but I was really, really curious about what was going to happen with that. And also now that the game is finally available online, I can see how the online works for the Switch. There'll actually be some people on there hopefully that I can play online with, because it is a 4-player game, so it's meant to be played multiplayer. So yeah, there's the Season 2 and 3 for $34.99 each. That's like $70 extra. It kind of felt like almost like Hitman 3 level for me. Like John, when you kept buying all the extra stuff for Hitman 3, it's like, am I going to end up paying like $200 for this? Which granted, actually I never paid for Zombie Army 4 to begin with, so I shouldn't really be that upset about it. I mean, I got a $50 value for free for review.
Sure. And the difference with Hitman 3 though, it was like you were paying for the extras were 2 full other games and then their DLC. But it seems like these are still pieces of Zombie Army 4. They're not Zombie Army 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, which is also selling for $34.99. I mean, these are just this is DLC for Zombie Army 4, but it's all the same. Like it sells for the same price on PC, so it's not like a Switch tax or anything like that. It's just kind of weird the way it is. And I mean, you do get a lot of extra stuff for it. I don't know. I'm still not sure about how I feel about getting it or not. But you can get free Left 4 Dead DLC where you can turn your characters into Left 4 Dead characters. So there's that you can get for free that's on there that wasn't known to me until later. So I still have to beat the Season 1 stuff on Zombie Army 4, and then we'll see how I feel after that. And I want to try out some of the multiplayer stuff. And I also want to play Zombie Army 1 through 3. So We'll see. There's another game coming out this week called Research and Destroy. It's a Spike Chunsoft turn-based action game. There's a demo available for it, but I didn't actually get to try it. But I'm really interested to where the turn-based action thing, does that mean like Valkyrie Chronicles type thing, or like Project Steam or whatever it was, like that, like those sort of games? Because I'm always interested in those type of games. So you can try it out for free, well, with the demo. And it's a Spike Chunsoft, so I know we've always liked their stuff before. And we already talked about My Brother Ate My Pudding, which came out. Lumote came out like last week. It's like a platformer type game with the glowing thing in there. It was kind of one of those that was offered for review, which I went with Zombie Army instead.
The game looks pretty cool. Lumo has a nice visual art style.
There's also there was a game called Deadcraft announced. It's like a top-down survival type thing, made by the same people who did the Daemon Ex Machina, and there's a demo out for that too. I haven't tried it yet, but I have it downloaded, so I want to try it out.
It comes out on your birthday, 5/19.
Comes out on the 19th, yeah. I don't know. I mean, from what I saw of it, it doesn't really look like my style, but I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait for the reviews on it.
You saying you don't have any tolerance for it, maybe?
Well, good segue, because a game that I've talked about many a times on this show, a nice game that I discovered from playing the Sega Genesis, Zero Tolerance, which is a very good Wolfenstein-style first-person shooter that was on the Sega Genesis. It's getting a re-release for Switch. Hooray. And it's a trilogy. There's 3 of them on there. So I've only played the first one. And I'm really interested if they're going to try to do the system-to-system multiplayer, because you could do that with the original Genesis. If you had two Genesis that you could hook up together, you could play 2-player, like with your own screen. So hopefully there's some online stuff on there. I know there's like a whole bunch of like a limited edition physical version stuff out on this, but I could not find the release date anywhere for the actual game. So that's annoying. I want to know, like, is there a digital version? I mean, there has to be a digital version, right? And like what is that releasing? Like, what day is that releasing? Because I want to get all these, but I just don't know how. And the only thing it said was that there was pre-order for the physical edition. And there's also, interestingly, you can buy a Sega Genesis cartridge that will actually work with all of them on there. So that's cool. But it's also like, I want to know about the digital one. Tell me about when that one's coming. Because I'm not going to buy all this extra shit. I just want to play the game. But I felt like, another one we kind of spoke into existence somewhat, because we talked about it a lot. But it was a cool game that I just kind of bought on a whim, because I didn't really know of any like specific first-person exclusives for Genesis. And this one was really good. And I can't wait to play it, on my Switch with save states and stuff like that, with all the stuff that makes it great when you modernize an old game. And there's a bunch of stuff, not to downplay the physical version, but you get like a soundtrack, you get a bunch of stickers and posters and stuff like that included with it. So that's cool. And if anybody doesn't know, Zero Tolerance is a first-person shooter game, like I said, kind of like Wolfenstein, but the idea is you have to clear out these floors of this building of aliens. You basically have to kill all of the aliens on the floor before you can go to the next thing. So it's the very definition of the kill everything first-person shooter, which we've talked about before.
Also, Riders Revenge is also getting a special edition. I love that, both of these games are getting special editions. I don't think I'll get either of them. I'll get the basic ones, but just the random love this year, all of a sudden in 2022 for TMNT, I accept it.
Well, Shredder's Revenge is a new TMNT game. So, I mean,
right.
I would think that, and it's done by a reputable company and all that stuff. So I understand that. Well, I guess, maybe there's a lot of other Zero Tolerance fans. They're getting into it. There was kind of finally like a rough release for that. It's supposed to come out in like summer, right?
Yep, and they confirmed that the original voice cast for all the turtles are coming back.
Wait, the original, cool. like the 80s one?
The
like
80s
Rob
one. They're
Paulson?
doing all 4 of them. They're all doing the voices.
Interesting. I mean, the only one I really know or pay attention to is Rob Paulson. Rob Paulson actually did the voice of 2 of the turtles. He did the voice of Raphael in the 80s, and then he did the voice of Donatello in the 2012 series. Not to mention, I mean, Rob Paulson. He did the voice of Arthur from The Tick. He did the voice of one of the Animaniacs people also, and you've heard his voice. He kind of does the same voice for everything, but he's in a million different things, and he's great.
He'll be great in this.
Yeah, I would prefer him being Donatello though, because I think the 2012 show is so much better than the original Turtles show.
But you can't beat the original. I think objectively, probably so. Anything newer in a series is usually better. But it would be wrong, I think. It would be wrong.
It depends. I guess if they're basing their stuff on the original Turtles stuff, then that makes sense. But that 2012 series, I think, is still the best series. Give it a watch if you haven't seen it yet. There's a demo of Sam and Max coming out. It's on discount also. I'm interested in playing the demo. I played the first one, but I think this is the second one, right? Beyond Time and Space. I played the original one on Wii. Anyway, there's a demo out for it. Check that out. We don't have to spend that much time on that. The big thing I wanted to talk about this week is Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 got a new trailer and a new release date. And I don't know why, but they flip-flopped. They basically flip-flopped the releases of Xenoblade and Splatoon 3. So the date that Xenoblade was is now Splatoon 3's date, and vice versa. But I don't know if either of you gave a look at the new trailer, but you should. It's really cool. There's it looks like one of the new things that you can do is you can turn into a little spider thing, like a robot spider machine. Like, I thought that was really cool. There's a new weapon coming out for Splatoon 3. I don't think it was in the trailer, but it was mentioned on Twitter. There's a new weapon that basically like sucks the ink out of the other players. You can like remove other players' ink from the ground. That's a cool new ability that wasn't in the other one. So
I'm into
There's
that.
a grappling hook. I guess we kind of already knew that.
did we? I guess I missed that. There's a bow and arrow that you can use. The ink brush is back, of course. I didn't think it would go anywhere. I don't know. My level of excitement for Splatoon is pretty great. When we were trying to test out the internet, when I was trying to test out the internet, I actually jumped on Splatoon 2 and played some of that. And I was like, wow, this game is still great. Super fast, a lot of fun. So I'm excited for Splatoon 3. And for anybody who has expansion pack, like Jeremy, you should try out Octo Expansion now that you have it for free on Splatoon 2.
Do I get to
Give
keep
it
it,
a
or
try.
is it just a temporary thing?
You get to
I
keep
think
it. It's like the Animal Crossing DLC and
Oh,
the other
okay.
stuff, the Mario Kart. Yep.
Oh, then I definitely need to get it.
Yeah, it's the same as I don't think it's any different than any of the other DLC, the stuff that's on there. But you still have to do the same thing where you have to go into the eShop and download it separately
Mm-hmm.
through the it'll be like its separate thing instead of like actually paying for it. So you still have to do that. But yeah, since you already have the game, you could just play it. And I don't think you don't have to beat the game to play it either. You can jump right into it.
Well, I wonder, have we ever confirmed that if you quit NSO, do you still get to keep those games or those DLCs?
No, you don't.
Or you don't?
No, you don't get to keep them. That's the point. It's the same as it's the same as PlayStation Plus. When you stop paying your membership, you don't get to play the games that you got from PlayStation Plus anymore until you restart your thing.
Got it. So, like, what would happen in my Animal Crossing island if I try to go to the extra island with the hotel and all that stuff? It just says, oh,
You just can't go there. Yeah, you just can't go there if you're not paying for it. I mean, if you would get it forever, it would be like you would just get it for a month and then get rid of it, and then you. But no, all that you won't have access, just like how you won't have access to your Super Nintendo games or NES games if you don't have the regular Nintendo Switch Online.
Those will go
I
away.
just was thinking because those things are more integrated with the game that I already purchased, say Mario Kart 8, and do it just get those like levels wiped out.
They just won't be accessible. Yeah, you won't be able to use them. One thing that's really cool about the Splatoon 3 trailer, I don't know if you noticed it, but you start off of the map now. Like your base, like you don't start actually on the base. You start on these floating boxes away from the base, and then you jump to the base. I thought that was really cool. I'm wondering if maybe you can jump to any part on the map that you want to from that. Like when you die, you'll start off on that floating box, and then you can jump to a different part instead of like landing and then jumping to somewhere else. That's what I saw from it when I was looking at that. And also, like, if you remember when we used to play it, Jeremy, like some teams would be so good that they would like ink you all the way to your base to where when you come out, you get automatically killed. So now you can't do that anymore. And maybe that's why they have the floating boxes outside of the map. Any thoughts on that?
I will get Splatoon 3 day one.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm excited.
I will also commit to getting Splatoon 3 this time.
You should. It's a great game. I'm really excited, especially like with you being able to jump off of the boxes onto the map. That's great. It's fun. I'm really interested to see the single player. Single player is always something I really enjoy on these. But it's a lot of it's like, level variety, game variety, all that stuff. Even though I never really played that much of the pro stuff that had the non one where you just paint the floor. But yeah, I'm really interested in that spider thing that happens there. It looks really fucking cool. Now we got some time to wait on it. I'm getting this and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. There was some more stuff that was announced for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 also. They kind of showed some of the different classes that you can switch to. There's like a few different ones. Also, what I found is interesting, and we didn't mention this before, is you'll have the same amount of people on the map at once as you did in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, except for now they're not like tied to you. So you'll have like 6 party members to manage at once, just like you did on that other one, except they're not like your human blades. They're just other characters. So it seems like it's going to be really complicated. Very, very excited about that.
Oh yeah, and this
You're not
one's
excited
really
about
cool.
the AEW game, are you?
Oh, of course. It was funny that you put in the notes that the person that reported this was Kotaku, because that's not actually true. The guy who reported this was the one who recorded it and put it on the internet. from the show. Like, they didn't do shit. All they did was watch a video and then write about how they watched a video. So I'm just saying, give credit where credit is due. Yeah, the person who reported it was the person who fucking filmed it and put it on the internet. But no, actually, I thought this was really cool. For every AEW show that they do, there's always after the cameras are off, they do little things where they come out and talk to you. Sometimes they have extra bonus matches that you won't see unless you were there. But Tony Khan always comes out and talks about stuff after each thing. And this one in particular, last week, I'm not sure, I don't remember where it was, but he came out and said what the name of the new AEW game would be. And it was based off of a chant that you've heard many times if you go to any AEW event, and that is the chant that is Fight Forever, where people are like, fight forever, and they just say that over and over again when there's a good match. I thought it was either going to be Fight Forever or This Is Awesome, because they do chants for both of those fairly often. But that's a cool title for the game, so at least we have a new title. We still don't really have much footage, but what was really, really cool about the video was they actually record chanting in the arena, after everything's done. They're like, all right, we're going to record some chants for FTR. We're going to record some chants for Cash Wheeler. And they start going through some of the different characters, and everybody chants and they record the audio there in that stadium. So that's really cool and authentic. And I told Jess about this, and they were saying it's also very cheap because then you can record all this stuff for free, and they're excited to be in the game, but you don't got to pay a loop group or whatever to do it. So that's exciting. Also, I mean, this is not video game related, but they also announced that they're doing a New Japan Pro Wrestling versus AEW pay-per-view event in Chicago at the United Center. And I was like, oh shit. And I looked it up, and the cheapest seats, and these are the ones that are way up top, are $200. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm not going to that. Plus, I don't really know the New Japan Pro Wrestler guys that much, but it's very expensive. So I saw they were doing that. It's a pretty cool crossover thing. I don't think they've actually done that.
You know what else you're not going to?
The Mario movie.
Not in December. It's been delayed.
You know what? Yeah, so the Mario movie was delayed. I honestly don't really even remember what the... I don't know. I don't remember what the release date was going to be originally, so this didn't mean that much to me. Was it supposed to be Christmas time of this year?
Yeah, it was the holiday release, so it made sense.
Yeah, it's been delayed until April 7th. Miyamoto got on Twitter, took over the Nintendo account, said, "This is Miyamoto." And what else? What was the quote here? It was
really weird. I saw that and I was like, that's not real. I think everybody who saw it was thought it wasn't real.
Whatever, Bill Trennan.
Yeah. I don't know if Bill even works there anymore.
I don't know. It says, "This is Miyamoto. After consulting with Chris San, my partner at Illumination on the Mario Brothers movie, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th in Japan, April 7th in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it'll be well worth the wait."
Oh, no.
I think it would be worth the wait if they announce that they are recasting Mario. I hope that's the reason.
So in this case, Chris San is not Chris Pratt, I think.
It's not Chris Pratt San, no. It's somebody from Illumination. He's like, I've talked to Jack Black San, and he doesn't want to do it anymore. No, I don't know. What I think would be worth the wait would be if they don't release this movie and they just release a new Mario game that is Bowser's Fury but longer. That would be much cooler. I'd be into that, other than them releasing this movie that I really don't care about. But whatever they're gonna do, whatever they got to do. I mean, it's computer animated. Those movies take forever to make. So I'm actually surprised that it's even coming out that soon. I figured we might not even see it till 2024, or not see it, depending on how you feel about it.
I'll see it.
It could be good still. I'm holding on hope. I just wish it wasn't Illumination. I wish it was more, I don't know, a more artful studio, not one that just kind of cranks out these commercial products they're scored with top 10 pop hits and all that stuff. I'm nervous that it's going to go in that direction, and I just hope that Nintendo has enough sway with this movie to make it actually faithful to Mario, and prove that to us, please, by announcing that you're recasting Mario.
I mean, I would prefer, I don't know, I'm glad it's not like Pixar, because if it was Pixar, it would be under the thumb of Disney, and I've said it before, but I don't want all my favorite things to be owned by Disney.
Pixar doesn't really do branded stuff.
Yeah.
It should have been. It should have been Ghibli. That would have been great. They announced that they're partnering with Studio Ghibli, who has enough pull worldwide at this point, and who has done a couple of at least did one CG movie. That would have been the perfect partner. I mean, they have their own park in Japan and everything, and Trey, you went to it.
Yeah. We went to the we went to the museum. It's more of a museum than a park, but yeah. But they haven't really done any like licensed things either.
It's all pretty much their own
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, like retelling fairy tales, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, some of them were like retellings of books and novels and stuff like that, but not like Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever.
I like Diana Wynne Jones, who wrote Howl's Moving Castle. I've never read it. I've read some books by her.
But this would be Nintendo's, for all intents and purposes, first movie. Let's forget the original Mario movie. And then it could have been like Ghibli's first time doing a licensed property. So both of them stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit, but it just makes sense. It would have been the perfect partnership. Anywho, we're not getting that. We're getting some what you call it? Minions bullshit. Yeah.
Mario Minions. It'll be like the Rabbids game.
Yeah, well,
somebody made a fake Nintendo account and tweeted out, "This is Miyamoto-san. Sorry for the delay. Chris-san thought he was making another Minions movie, so we're just gonna kind of try and work with what we got. And sorry if the toads are a little yellow. Peace."
I mean, I wish that. I mean, at least it can't be as bad as the Sonic movies. That's all I'm saying. I mean, those movies are terrible, but people still go to see them. But people kept buying the terrible games too.
Detective Pikachu is good.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
That was that one.
So I have a little bit of faith in this, but I'll watch it with some kids or something, like my niece and nephew or something, so I don't feel as dumb when I watch it.
You'll go find some random kids somewhere and kidnap them and make them watch the movie with you. Hey kids, you're coming with me. We're gonna watch this movie.
Ew.
Well, let's talk about the bad news in the world that everybody seems to be. I saw these posts on this particular platform that made it sound like the whole ship was going down or that they had lost a loved one or something. But Elon fucking Musk bought Twitter.
Wario bought Twitter
for like $44 million or $44 billion, not million. Big difference. But still, why? Just to, I don't know. To buy more followers,
so you can delete all the pictures of him when he was bald.
Was he bald?
Yeah, he had
in
surgery
his 20s.
Or whatever.
Oh, does he have hair plugs like Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Because I know Nicolas Cage is very angry about his hair plugs. Don't look at him. He gets mad at you when you do that. He said, "Don't look at his hair plugs." Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about Elon Musk owning Twitter? I like Twitter. Twitter was a great place. I really enjoyed it. I hope it doesn't change, but
it will.
I don't know.
How's it going to change, do you think?
I just want to know why.
I think he'll restore accounts and like make the hate speech stuff like more lax. It's going to turn more Facebooky.
Ugh. Is he going to let like Mr. Rumpy back?
Mr.
I wouldn't be
Trump,
surprised.
Mr. Trump dump?
Yeah, I mean, I read like a little bit. He was talking about like algorithms or some bullshit like that, and I don't know. Sounded like a whole lot of garbage.
I just want to know why, because all his other businesses all seem to kind of make sense together. They're all around energy and clean energy and all this stuff. But then there's Twitter, and what does that have to contribute? I guess maybe I'm only speculating, but the guy just likes tweeting, as we've seen, and doesn't want to be told what to do necessarily. And he's got the money. It's only like a sixth of his total wealth, basically the 44 billion. I think he has 300 billion.
Well, he had investors and stuff were involved in it. Like, I don't know how that works. Like, he owns it, but like, he secured funds not just from himself. Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
All I can think is that he wants to be Zuck. Like, he envies Zuck, and he really wants to be Zuck.
That could be it too. Yeah, a little billionaire envy.
He's like, oh, he has his own social media network, man. I want one of those.
What does Zuckerberg own? Facebook?
Yeah.
Amazon
Except
owns
Zuckerberg
Facebook.
actually made Facebook, whereas Elon Musk didn't invent anything. He just buys stuff that's already made.
I thought the one fucking dude made Facebook, the one they made a movie about.
Well, he did, but Zuckerberg was involved in actually building the page initially. So there was some involvement and some invention. Some credit can go to him in that regard.
How do you feel about it, Jeremy? Since you were the other tweeter here.
I don't know, because I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on this show, but I think social media is one of the worst things that was ever invented by humans. It might be up there with nuclear weapons. I'm not lying. I mean, I'm not trying to be
Well, I mean, kind of.
coy
I mean,
here. I really mean, like, it's bad.
People do get, yeah.
People get
do
killed.
get killed because of it, because of encouragement to
kill
Yeah.
whoever. Like,
You
it
can
has
recruit people to hate groups really easily with it.
Yeah.
You can bend the truth. That's a very popular thing to do. You can outright fabricate things. And with deep fakes and shit like that becoming more of a commonplace thing that people can access and create, yeah, social media is fucking terrible. So somebody like Musk buying it, yeah, that's scary. His Tesla's like that whole thing's been going to shit. I don't know if you've been following any of that scandal, but something like 40% of the cars they've produced had to be recalled recently because of basically you could die in them more easily.
Jess was telling me that on their drive to work, the Teslas are always the worst cars. Like those are always the ones that are driving badly. It's like, is it because of the auto driver, or is it just because the people who own them suck? I don't know.
Well, that's part of it, but just the cars themselves have components that are bad. I mean, I've heard of them catching on fire because of the way the battery works and shit. Like,
wow.
No, I just hear like that's just kind of going to crap. And then of course SpaceX, I guess, is doing okay, but whatever.
Not going to space.
I mean, they're all like, once again, that's like keeping up with the Joneses. That Bezos had to have his own space company too. You know, they're all just a bunch of spoiled brats, and I don't want them to be in charge of this stuff. That's how I feel about Elon Musk buying Twitter. Wario might as well have bought Twitter. It's the god of chaos, Loki, whatever. He owns it now.
Yeah.
You know, I follow one company called Brave New Films. They make progressive documentaries and that kind of thing. They're always posting political opinions and things. And I don't know exactly how I feel about this, but I think maybe they might be onto something. That the problem is really that someone can one guy can own such a huge platform for communication, and maybe that shouldn't be allowed. Maybe once things get to a certain size, once these social media sites get to a certain size, maybe they can't be under the guidance of one guy who can change the way the world, a significant percentage of the world communicates just, on a whim. I don't know, maybe we need a little bit more public participation in how those things are run.
Yeah. I don't know how you would do that. It would be nice. Or you could just like let people not own so much shit, or try to make it better to where a small percentage of the population doesn't own a large percentage of the country, like the way we have things. But that's a whole nother conversation about garbage capitalism and all that.
Hopefully Elon Musk doesn't buy the Crazy Taxi 2 website, because I want one good thing left in the world. And it was reported today by Jalopnik that the Crazy Taxi 2 website still exists. And the best part is you can only access it on a Dreamcast. I love that. That's just so pure, so good. It makes me want to fire up my Dreamcast and figure out how to get on there.
How do you get on the internet on a Dreamcast now? That's what I want to know.
You used to have SegaNet.
I didn't even know how to do it like when I had one hooked up. Like, does it have a modem in it? It must, right?
Yeah, it was the first system that came with a modem, and you would subscribe to SegaNet, and I don't know how you would get on today.
That's a good thing to throw in here at the end now. It's like, we can't like completely end on a down note like that.
I know, I wanted to have a good thing to end on, and that was the perfect note.
Crazy Taxi 2, the game that I would love to play. And if you want to hear us talk more about Crazy Taxi 2 and other things, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast, because we just did an episode about elements from video games that just don't exist anymore. Like ones that were in some games, but then were taken away. And I guess that was kind of a spoiler, but we do talk about Crazy Taxi 2 a little bit in there. But give it a listen. It only takes $1 donation, and you can hear that and 36 plus. There's actually, this one's 37, but there's 36, but there's also bonus ones that are included in there as well, that are like extra stuff dealing with whatever episode. Like for our live ones, they have like, there's like our rehearsal one as well, and some of them have like WART radio episodes connected to them and other stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff to listen to there that's behind a paywall, so check that out. Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. And thanks for listening to us. Sorry for all the problems. We'll see how it all comes together in the end, I guess. Hopefully you didn't notice anything, and I can just cut this line. But yeah, that's been episode 318. We've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jerry Mikowski.
John Hitter.
And you can find us on whatever's left of Twitter, if it still exists by the time I post this, at Nintendo_domain and at JMaxTech. You can find, we'll post stuff on there. We'll see whatever happens to that website. Also, whenever my internet gets better, twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast, be streaming stuff. Also, youtube.com/NintenDomain podcast is where you can find our videos as well on there. And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wario the Mambo! 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 Na 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 na! Wario the Mambo! Wario the Mambo! Wario the Mambo! Na ha!
This week on NintenDomain, Splatoon and Xenoblade have changed release dates. The Mario movie was released, and there's a game that we spoke into existence.
Just kidding. The Mario movie was delayed.
Wait,
who gave Miyamoto the Twitter password?
Did I say?
Hold on, I gotta say
Did
that.
I say something else?
You said the Mario movie was released.
Oh yeah, because I wrote that in. Hold on. All right, let me do that again. Why did I write released? I just secretly want it. No, I don't. I don't care.